Hello, everybody. We're doing something a little different today. Instead of going over everyone's rosters, we're gonna actually talk about the coaches themselves. I have Pac with me here today. Say hi, Pac.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And I also brought Nikki. Say hi, Nikki.
Hello.
Hi, Nikki. So we're gonna go over Manu's teams first. Pac has all the notes, so he's gonna talk most about the coaches today. So Pac, please start.
Yeah, so first thing that I did when
Nikki, stop
researching was I
clicking.
decided to grab all the
Oh,
first thing I did first thing I did when doing my research was find all the seasons that our coaches had been a part of and grab their overall records. And since everyone's played a different amount of seasons, I converted to a percentage. So to start with, Manu has a 65% winning percentage in his 2 seasons since coming into the league. As a player, I kind of see him as a pretty highly skilled player. He has did win the season 3 championship, and the kind of player I kind of see him being is kind of very meticulous. He tries to draft a lot of fat, um, and give himself a way to play safe until he's able to bring in something like a Mega Altaria or a setup Crest to bring in for the more slight, potentially riskier play. Um, Probably when his chances are highest to win. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown of the kind of player Manu is. And we can open up the floor to discussion.
Manu cheats because he gets high all the time.
yeah. I don't really know very well, so I don't think I can really talk about it. You know what I mean?
Cool.
If I did more research, maybe I could, but
Well,
I don't know. He
well,
doesn't
it
talk
doesn't, it
that.
doesn't, it doesn't
Fast.
look like he drafted a fat team this time. Like he does have like Vaporeon and
What?
stuff like that.
Huh?
Shut
He has Incineroar, Vaporeon, even had Arena's
up.
that. Skuntank, Ferrothorn, Claydol.
Ice Cube just tanks a physical
Yeah,
hit for one turn,
this team is gonna
It's a
be a whore.
joke,
It's gonna be such a
guys.
whore.
and
Guys, it's
Incineroar got
sarcasm.
parting shot. So
Did it?
Did he actually get parting
yeah,
shot?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it gets parting shot now.
there's not a lot I know about Gen.
but Manu is still good
A
because he
whore.
already the first season he came in, he won, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, what was his record that season? It wasn't great. It was like
His
5-7.
his first yeah, he was
Yeah,
only 5-4 in his first season, but then he just kind of went off in
yeah,
playoffs.
that's what happens with him. That's kind of like the same with Rob. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves,
Yeah,
Okay.
we can get it. Last season he went 8-3 and had a fat core. I remember of Mega Altaria
but
and
yeah, it was annoying.
Skarmory, Vaporeon again. Um, yeah, I forget what else. I'd have to look at the roster, but no, he's been like a really consistently. He drafts good teams, and he really knows how to play with them.
Mhm.
And he drafts a lot of different types of mods. Other than like Vaporeon, he usually mixes up his mods pretty well, and just goes based off of like fatness, and then give himself a
Mhm.
couple decent sweepers.
He also drafted on Pheasant, but that's okay. We'll talk
Yeah,
about.
Yeah, we
apparently,
won't. We're just kind of that mod doesn't just like Sigilyph. That mod doesn't
Shut
exist,
up.
so we just don't talk about it.
also, what was I gonna say? Oh, according to like other people that have been in other leagues with him, he's apparently like really good in those leagues too. So
Cool.
Mhm.
even though he's only been here for 2 seasons, you kind of know that he's gonna do
Mhm. So we got
Yep.
Robbo now, aka the greatest of all champions.
well.
Pop, get in the Robbo.
Yep. Yeah. So Rabo is our Ginger God of Thunder. Sorry, couldn't read my handwriting.
I like that's how in your notes.
Yeah. So he's a lot of that has come from a previous league that he won 3 championships in a row in.
Yep.
Um, but speaking just to this league, he has an overall winning percentage of 68% in
Damn.
our league, which is tied for the second highest. As a whole, I mean, it's pretty obvious his skill's pretty high. He really knows how to just bring in a lot of different types of Pokemon and bring in different types of sets. Um, like I remember one season, I think he went without a fire type. Another one, I think he tried without a
Mm.
dragon type. Um, and then he just brings sets that are maybe just a little unconventional. I believe back at least in the previous leagues we were in, he brought a weak armor sword stance, weak armor Skarmory in the finals to win.
Yup, and
the
beat
hell?
me with it.
Yeah,
It was me and him in the finals, and he beat me with a Swords Dance week. It was awful.
yep. So that's just a small taste of like what he's capable of doing. Let's see. Last season, just to give you, I'm looking at the rosters for last season real fast. He had Pokemon like Quagsire, Mega Guard, Celesteela, but most importantly, out of that, he had Big Chungus, Diggersby,
Diggersby, the mascot.
and wasn't
Yeah.
and ended up having it be a kill leader throughout the season. So it's one Diggersby. To be fair, I understand Diggersby's a tier 2, but let's be honest here. No one expects really 10 kills or more out of that thing in
No.
any given season. So he's really capable of just really throwing you for a loop in any given matchup and making you pay for it, because I'm expecting this season he's going to get a Rapidash sweep. So
Well,
yeah.
better not be against Wii.
Another thing about Robbo is that like he plays super offensively, I feel like, and builds super offensively, but his teams never really reflect
Show
that. I
that,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, like his team now is like really fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a slight deviation from normal, but
Yeah.
he still has D-Dance Kyurem
Mhm.
and Specs Kyurem, Halucha, Rhydon, Diggersby, Rapidash, and honestly, with his setup, he might even be able to throw in some offensive Weezing or Bronzong in the right matchups.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He never really drafts super offensive, but he always brings offensive teams. He's just super unorthodox. I feel like that's
Yeah,
why you feel like
He's very surprising.
yeah.
He's full of surprises. Okay, we'll talk about
Yeah.
one of the co-hosts right now, Nikki. Nikki's team is up.
Ayo.
Pac, what do you have to say about Nikki?
Yeah, so yeah, Nikki actually has a winning percentage of 0.
Yeah, that's
never won. Never won. Absolute trash. We can move on.
Yeah.
So then we have Pac, absolute trash, negative 50%. I don't even understand how that happens, but he's
Yeah.
so bad he got kicked out of the league a couple times, but brought back because I
Yeah.
don't know why.
We've developed a nice relationship. Make a wish.
Thanks to the Make-A... Shout out to the sponsor,
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
For bringing Pac in.
Consistently back from the dead.
Pac thinks it's smart to draft more Pico. Don't know why,
Yeah.
but...
Well, Pico's good. Whatever. Oh, whatever.
Okay, sorry, guys. We can go back to
Yeah,
Nick's
okay.
now. So Nick's team, he actually has the highest winning percentage at 75%.
Ew.
So good.
Too bad you only have one championship to show for it. So
I didn't hear you. Didn't hear that last part.
Nick
only
chokes a
have
lot.
one championship.
What was that?
Only have one championship.
Okay, let's just keep going.
Yeah. Really riding the coattails of that Z-Bite engine, aren't you? Alright, anyways, so skill-wise, Nick is highly skilled. He's a very competent player and really knows how to mix it up with his Pokemon. Kind of little similar to Rabo, in the sense that you don't entirely know which Mon is going to be offensive that week. So, like, which kind of leads into his style. He really likes to just borderline go stally in how much fat he likes to draft, and then chip away until he's able to bring in something like Salamence or Infernape.
Can I come in real quick? I need to come in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We need to talk about him fighting Matrix in the the semifinals.
Oh yeah.
How many turns was that, Nick?
It was the semifinals of season 1, and I think it was like 158 turns.
158. Cool. All right, we can continue.
Hold on. I had a horrible matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna bring stall, and I did, and I won.
So Nikki's not afraid to be a
told
pussy.
you to bring stall.
Nikki's not afraid of being a pussy and bringing stall. For all those other
Yeah,
coaches out there, he will bring stall, and he does not care as long as he wins.
If it means I can win, then yeah, I'll bring it.
Anyway, so yeah, going back to like his style, it's. I guess that's kind of all I wanted to say about it. He literally likes to play bulky and just give himself a chip away until he's able to bring in some Scarfmon or Bandedmon that can clean up the rest. So
he also drafts well.
yeah,
He does a good time.
Yeah, he does draft
good
solidly. He
drafts.
gives him. Yeah, he really likes his cores. He really
Love
sticks.
cores.
He kind of sticks. Yeah, he sticks to the book. Sticks by the book with how he drafts.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a book and he reads it. Okay, so Pac, we're gonna talk about you, but just tell us their winning percentage.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could give a couple other quick things about like
Yeah,
skill
sure,
level
I
and style
get
because
this.
I'm very honest. I'm a very honest person. So my winning percentage is 38%, which I believe was the third worst in the league. Hey, I am basically equal with one of the founders, so fuck off. Uh, and yes, skill wise, at least strictly with this league, I'm pretty. I would call me a little below average. If we were going to other leagues, I would say higher, but in this league specifically, I tend to struggle. But I have been consistent with 3 or 4 wins a season. And style wise, I really just like to. I really like having flexibility in my Pokemon, whether it's so that way I can run some defensively or some support role or offensively. Um, and give myself lots of ways to like get free switch ins with U-turn and Volt Switch and Parting Shot and all that. So ten some of my more successful teams, at least throughout all the leagues I've played in, have been able to do stuff like that.
Nick, you got anything to say?
I do. I feel like the whole 38% thing really doesn't reflect your skill. I feel like all of your games are usually pretty close, or you get horribly unlucky and just get screwed over by that because you're really not that bad. Like you really, you're probably one of the better battlers. It's just I don't know what happens with everybody lose all the time. I don't understand it. I really don't
I
get
mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, hell, I lost to Cam in the off season, so like,
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
God.
whoa!
God, who won the offseason?
no one we care about.
Okay. All right, just one.
Matrix. But
Cam, do you want to say anything about Pac?
I don't know much about Pac, other than I do watch some of his battles, and he does play pretty well. That's all I can
Exactly.
say. He never plays bad. I can say that he never like plays terrible, where like he always puts himself in a bad situation or not. He always plays well.
Appreciate it, guys. Need that boost of confidence today.
You're welcome. You're still losing in
Got
my
you,
division,
buddy.
but that's okay.
Yeah,
Next up we
only
have
won
Brown.
38% of the games. Brown.
So now we got Big Boy Brown, Big Admin Brown. Please
Ed-
don't ban me. What can you say about
Yeah.
Brown?
Yeah, so let me find it. Yeah, Brown has won 63% of his games across his 4 seasons. I would call him skill wise more than above average, a little more than that, but I wouldn't call him on the same level as say Robbo or Nick right now. But in terms of his style, at least from what I've seen of him, he's really big on predictions. So he really relies on like a lot of double switching to give himself the momentum and to say some like for at least I don't know if this happened in this league or not, but like something like Kieran Black or in regards to this team, he'll be like getting himself into Glaring Darmanitan or Toxtricity like with free switch-ins with those double predicts. He usually likes to rely on a lot of bulk in case he does mispredict and is able to then tank a hit and recover it off easily, which as you can very easily see with Appleton and Jellicent on this current team. And yeah, I mean, I think he's still kind of figuring out a couple things, but I think he's getting there pretty quickly. Last season was his best overall record since joining the league, so he's making headway. I think
What was his record last season?
8-3.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do have
I'm
to
pretty
say
sure
something.
Nick wants.
Oh,
Yeah,
do I want to
yeah.
say?
No,
No,
I
no.
want to say something. All right.
Oh, go.
I like his draft. It's cool and all, but he did draft the wrong Lanoon. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. He drafted the wrong Lanoon, the one that has belly drum at E speed.
Yeah, well, the
that's
other one
not
is
that good.
a dark type.
This one even can't run into Violet, so that's
Yeah.
how good it is.
I don't get it either,
Certainly sure.
but that's okay.
Anyways, I think.
I think we should go to the
Yeah.
returning veteran, Sam. Tell me a bit about
Oh,
Sam.
yeah.
I don't know much about Sam.
Okay,
Oh,
trying to get too turned on there, Nick.
So I just something about Sam.
Yeah. Well, you and Rob will have something in common about that. So regarding
Well,
Sam, his overall record, as I allude to with mine, is he only has a 39% winning percentage in this league.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's been a little rusty the last few seasons. But in terms of skill, I would kind of, at least with what we've now seen, he's still capable of some big games, but I would call him a little more average right now. He's capable of winning some games, like when he beat Infinite last year or last season. That flashes still, but I think a lot of what his skill depends on is his team having a true identity. And as Nick will remember, a lot of his best seasons were when he had Sandrill going.
Mm-hmm.
When he doesn't have like that identity, I think he like tends to kind of struggle a little bit with how he wants to build his team for any given matchup.
so do
He
you
doesn't
think
know
he's
what to
gonna?
build around.
Do you think he's gonna struggle then this season with his current team?
I mean, at first glance, I'm not entirely sure what the identity is. But maybe maybe he does. So I can't speak for him. But if he has an idea of what his identity is, I think he'll be just fine.
I feel like it's less of like an identity and more having like things that you know you can win with. Like Excadrill in the sand is something.
Yeah.
Probably win with just about every week. So, hello.
Yeah.
We're here.
Okay. And I feel like since Sam drafted Hydreigon and Reuniclus, which he loves those mons, I feel like he'll be able to use them to sort of build around each week, and I think he'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess I kind of just like want to be with identity. Just knowing what your team does super well.
Yeah.
And he knows Hydreigon and Reuniclus are great sweepers or cleaners at the end of matches, or for momentum purposes and all that. He has something that he knows he can build around every week.
Yeah. I also feel like he's used Melodic a couple times before. I could be wrong.
I don't remember. I'm usually
been a
my
while.
memory's just scarred with Sandrill sweeping me. So
Yeah, he was a monster with Sandrill.
even when he knew it was coming, I felt so proud when I kept like. There was one time like I think it was back in the UBC we had a matchup and my counter to his drill was like enough like super defensive Hoopa with Z Shadow Ball, I think, and that killed it after a rocks. So that was my counter to it.
You gotta win
Yeah,
somehow.
you have to do whatever works.
Yeah.
I still got beat like 4-0, but Sandrill did not get it.
You gotta do what you gotta do to win. Oh yeah, I still lost.
It took a lot. Sandrill got only 2 kills that matchup, which was like pretty neat. I think.
Was that the season? Was that the season that he went like 9-1 or something ridiculous?
I don't know. I think it was the last season I played in, so whichever one that one was.
Sam was insane.
Yeah. He drafted like 3 times in that league.
Anyways, moving on.
Well, moving on
All right,
to me.
moving to Cam.
Wait, should we?
All right.
Should we replace Dreadnought with the Scavalier?
I mean, it doesn't have a
We'll
purpose.
get to that. You can do it if you want to, Nick. Just do it. Just do it now.
Just keep the picture, so.
Scavalier? How do you spell Scavalier? God damn it. The Scavalier? God, no. Blank.
Cavalier.
Let's call him Snailmon. They'll get it. Should I cut this, by the way?
I will, that's Cavalier.
I don't know if I should.
There you go, guys.
Oh.
Isn't that what I did? God. Whatever. I don't
Should
care.
I cut this?
No, you did with an I and an E.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want, Cam.
Whatever, Cam.
Cough really loud into the mic.
This is like a podcast. Let's be honest here. Yeah. This is like a podcast more than a video.
Yeah, you know what? You're true. Fuck me in the ass.
So yeah, Cam's team.
No,
so
you have.
Cam,
it's not
Cam
about
is
my
one of the
team.
It's not his team. It's just him as a coach.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. So Cam, as a coach, he's a new player to the league. He is our host of our video channel, and that's about all we have on him. He played in the off-season league. He tried his best. He struggled. He did beat me, one of the lower points of my career.
I almost
He has
beat
a real
Infinite.
hard
I
on.
would have. All right, guys. So let me let you on some insight on Hitmontop real quick. All right. I was fighting
Oh,
Matrix.
God.
I mean, not Matrix. I was fighting Infinite, right? And
Yeah.
and all I had to do was get rid of Salamence, right? So
Mhm.
I make a beautiful read. All right. He has his life part
Uh-huh.
in. I'm like, he's not staying in. So I go for Stone Edge on the Salamence. I miss it, and then I lost the game, and then I lost all my momentum. Just saying. We can continue. Hitmontop's good.
Well, clearly not, because it missed the edge.
Anyways.
It was not well trained.
Game's just
Yeah, well,
lying.
you're a bad trainer.
I
Yeah.
think
Um,
I think Nick. Oh, since we've been battling for how long? Like 5 years now. We've been playing Pokemon with
Yeah, we've
each
been
other.
battling for like 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, we both started at the same time, but I think Nick is a little, just a tiny bit ahead of me. That's
Just a
fine.
time. Yeah. Okay.
just we'll just say a little bit.
But I think Nick can give
So yeah,
the most
regarding
insight.
Cam's skill, I would say, I mean, you did decent in the off-season league. Still, I think like you were right around 500, weren't you?
I
Three and
think I was 500.
we only, yeah. So you were, and it's right. Because I barely beat you out for the playoffs. So just based off differential. So I mean, Cam's got some decent skill. It's hard, obviously, that isn't the best barometer for skill because it was 120 mon meta,
Yeah.
where apparently Hitmontop becomes really good. But
Whoa.
now that we're in a much different meta, we'll see how he ends up doing. I think he has a decent draft to work with, even though it did get graded the worst.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential, and I mean, we'll see how he does. I think you're at a better starting point than a lot of other newer players to like real leagues,
Mm.
compared to like some of the other people, like when I joined the UBC or like when some of the other people joined the WBSC. Um, yeah,
Cool.
that's all I have to say. Nick,
Thank
you
you,
got
Pac.
anything else you want to
I
add?
appreciate it.
I do. So I think it's kind of hard to judge Cam if you don't really like know him, I guess. But this is his first draft, but this is not his first like introduction to competitive Pokemon. He's been
I meant real
Yeah,
draft.
yeah.
Because, sorry, Candy Corn, not a real league.
Okay, but I know that
want
I know
1
that he can be
6.
good. He's beaten me like plenty of times in just regular battles. But I feel like when it's draft league, it's so different that it's hard to judge where he really lands in the skill department. I don't know how to word this, but you know what I mean. It's hard to judge him when
He's a mystery.
he's a mystery. Yeah, he's like the mystery. What are those things called? The air heads. He's a mystery airhead flavor. Like you kind of know what it is, but you can't put your finger on. That's Cam.
I'll take that.
Great analogy.
Thank you.
Also, my color's blue.
Moving on.
Shut up.
Infinite,
Sure.
Infinite, my buddy. I just did an interview with Infinite.
So here we have yeah, you did. So yeah, Infinite, he was our season 4 champion. He
Returning
likes to
champion. My may say.
Yeah, he's our returning champion, defending champion. He's a real hog for attention, so because as you guys might notice, he likes to say he's really bad.
He
Yeah.
says that all the time.
He just wants us to tell him how great he is.
He's
Regarding his
incredibly
win
racist
percentage,
too.
he has been here all 4 seasons, and he has he's tied with Robbo at 68%. And regarding his skill, I mean, it's pretty high, obviously. He's also been getting a lot outside of his first season. He's had really good. His last 3 have been exceptional. He's been right at the top of the leaderboard for standings. And he is occasionally prone to like not great decisions in a match, which is why I kind of put him below Nick and Robbo and Manu, who are a little less prone to that. But otherwise, I mean, they're still pretty rare, and he usually can cover it for it pretty well. Regarding his style, I would call him a hardcore balance type of guy. I think he really likes to mix and match his bulk with offense really well. give himself plenty of options, whether it comes to prep or if it's in the match itself. So he can handle a lot of different situations. And then he makes smart reads a lot of the times. I think, kind of similar to Brown, I think he does a really pretty good job at reading the situation and going with what he thinks the opponent might do, rather than just staying in or whatever, you know.
He's also seeing his final match with Nick. He preps really well for like the dumbest things possible. Like
Yeah.
why would you put HP on a Mega Aerodactyl? Well, he did it so he can live on like 2%, and then to make sure he can win.
Mian show, yeah, it was annoying.
Yeah, but that stuff helps him a lot.
Yeah.
Nick can add on to that.
I don't want to. It was a heartbreaking loss for rollout. That's all I have to say in the matter.
All right, so Nick's gonna go cry in a corner. Meanwhile, we'll talk about Jetty.
Jetty.
So
Sexy
Jed
boy Jed.
He joined at an awkward time, but right in the middle of season 2, when our old pal Sean, who had a kid, left.
Imagine having a kid.
Lol.
And you could play Pokemon.
Imagine your kid playing Pokemon.
You say,
Why
like,
would-
you know it.
why?
Yeah. What do you? What's the?
What was that?
Anyway, let's talk about the shed.
Yeah, moving on to Jed. Jed's just our perky, happy person in our league.
Yeah.
And overall, I'm sure he's not going to appreciate me telling his win percentage, but it is 17% since he joined the league.
Nick, don't do it.
I mean, to be honest, I have to be brutally honest, because his skill isn't great. He has talent, I think, and he likes to think of this kind of leads into the style, but he's a heat meister, I would call him. He really likes bringing unconventional sets and trying to win with them. I think last season, I think he brought Iron Ball something at least 4 different times. I think it was a Zelf. Trick Room Iron Ball Zelf or something. I don't know. He was really into it. Which, though, might be good in certain matchups. I think he has a lot to work on, just realizing when you bring some more standard stuff, you kind of keep your options open in the middle of a match. When he kind of goes with his unconventional stuff, the second it gets walled, he has nowhere else to go. But I mean, that's one thing that I think he is ahead of a lot. Even some of the more tenured members in the league, his very wacky ideas for Pokemon and their sets for a given matchup are notches above a lot of us. I don't. He knows so many items that I don't even know. Like, I never would have thought. I kind of forget Iron Ball is even a thing.
That's because you're bad.
So I mean, like, props. Yeah. That is a bright side for him. But otherwise, he's still down there, and I know he's working hard to get out of it. But we'll see what happens this upcoming season. He's got a fun sand type.
He also has a hard schedule
to run with.
And ice kind of thing. Doesn't Arctovish get?
He gets Slush Rush, yeah. He's mixed weather.
So he's got some options. This team is weird.
It's gonna be Eviolite Vanillish. Here we come.
Yeah, he's gonna have to if he brings.
We'll see how that goes.
Wait, why didn't he draft Vanilla? What's the other one?
Vanilla.
Oh wait, yeah. Vanillish is the middle one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't grab Vanillite or Vanilla.
It wouldn't have enough points.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Jetty has been here for like 2.5 seasons, kinda, because he came in. It was weird, but I feel like he's kind of learning, improving at a slower pace, because this was his first introduction to competitive Pokemon, completely. He'd never really played it before, so I feel like that hinders him a bit. But he is getting better. He is, but surely he is getting better.
And I think I think he kind of idolizes a lot of us. He really wants to be as good as us so badly.
We're not that good.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah.
No, and I think once if he can start maybe knocking us off our pedestals a little bit, I think he'll start
Mhm.
to make a little more significant improvement a little faster. But I'm not telling him
I-
how to. I mean, if he wants to idolize us, I mean, I'm fine with it.
Lol.
I do think that he needs to bring more conventional sets more often because like some brings it I don't know, it catches me off guard when I play him, but then it's just kind of like, oh, okay, and then I take care of it and then it's done. It doesn't really never really does much, if that makes sense. I'm not
That's
trying
what
to
I
be
mean. Like it,
I
they
yeah.
all
think
have like their uses.
I think Jed's biggest
Yeah,
problem when battling is that like he gives up on a lot of mons really
He
fast.
does.
Like when for the off season, I know it's like it doesn't matter and everything. It was just
Yeah.
for fun. But like he brought a raw range set, right? And
Mhm.
it walled
Oh, I
my
remember.
team. Like it completely walled my team. I couldn't think of doing anything. So my best bet was like maybe he'll make a mistake or two. And he did. He let it get low and he's like, it's fine, we don't need it anymore. Even though that was his win con, I feel like he gives up a lot of mons and it just in the
Yeah.
end just like ruins him. Which I think he will improve
I
on.
don't yeah. I don't want to just keep like bashing on him though, so
piling on.
we can move
Yeah.
on.
So I mean, like we said, Jetty has a lot of spunk,
Yeah.
and I think he has the desire to get better. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see some improvement this season.
Now we move on to JP,
Yeah,
who drafted Gallade
yeah,
first round.
JP.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yes, yeah, mad lad, absolute mad lad.
Talk to me
Normally
why
it's
that's
Mega
normal.
Gallade. Well, normally it's a Mega Gallade,
Mm-hmm.
Not
but
booster.
since there's no Megas now, he stuck to tradition and grabbed normal Gallade. So I mean, so much respect. Gotta love it. And honestly, I don't think it hindered his draft that much in terms of these offensive abilities.
Mm.
But yeah, no, JP, let's see here. Overall record here, he has a 30% winning percentage in his 2 seasons, which is second worst behind Jetty and just before me. Um, skill wise, I mean, I would call it a little below average. I think his style, from what I've seen, has always been hyper offense, continually keep pressure on the opponent. And though that is good for a couple wins a season, it's not a sustainable strategy when it comes to draft unless you have like the best offensive mons, or you're really or like you do a really good job of investing EVs into like specific EVs into defense. Because he really doesn't give himself usually options for switching unless he predicts really well. Um, but I mean, otherwise though, I mean, I usually always get a little nervous playing him just because every season he always has like 3 or 4 bonds that can just 6-0 my team with a single sword stance or a couple calm mines. And he's going to get one of those in for free at some point. So
Yeah.
it's always like kind of a little stressful playing him. But right, it's once you can get past that initial wave or two, you usually are fine.
Yeah, JP's he's kind of weird. He doesn't really talk much. Like I don't really know. You know what I mean? Unless he's plugging his art, he doesn't really say anything. So, but like it's kind of cool to have him around because I feel like he's more about just having fun, and obviously that's what we take it a bit more seriously. I feel like than him, and that's not like at fault, like his fault or anything. It's good to just have that one person that doesn't really take things too seriously and doesn't get that upset with things RNG or like that.
He also drafted a Cramorant, which is pretty cool.
He also drafted a Cramorant, and he has a Berserker. He went like full Gen 8, which not full Gen 8, but
Mostly Gen 8.
He went with a lot.
yeah, I think he's the most.
100%, yeah.
He nabbed me on a couple of those. I was looking at Cinderace, but didn't get a chance at it.
I mean, court changed, so
Screw you, Nick. I know I suck.
we just
already
went
know
over
my
it.
win percentage. You won twice as many games as me. We get it. You're better than me.
I'm not even. I stopped talking. You just kept going.
I know. Just got some deep feelings to work through here, okay?
Okay.
Ow.
Jesus, what the hell?
Okay,
Anyway,
we have
yeah.
Alexis.
So moving on to Alexis.
Cam just got cut off.
what? You cut me off.
What? Whatever.
What?
Just talk about
Or-
Alexis.
What? Yeah. So yeah, Alexis.
Guys.
She is she's honestly kind of our newest player.
Yeah.
Since Cam at least was introduced with the offseason league.
She was
Alexis
too.
is Infinite's girlfriend.
Yeah, she was in the
Alexis,
offseason.
what?
Yeah, she was in the
No,
offseason.
she
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah,
Was
she
she-
was.
She didn't play. She didn't play in the offseason.
Oh, we're
pretty sure
talking
she
about
did.
Candy Corn, I think.
Oh, are we talking about Candy?
Yeah.
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 Oof.
Cam, she was
God,
she
don't
was
even
in
know your own-
off-season.
Whoa, whoa.
Anyways, Alexis is a new player and Infinite's girlfriend who we brought in a few weeks back. And I know from what the very limited interactions I've seen with her on the Disc chat so far, seems like she's pretty eager just to get playing and
Yeah.
have a good time. And honestly, I mean, she seems like she's got a decent understanding. Granted, she probably had Infinite helping her a lot with the draft, I would assume.
But that's fine.
But she put herself in a good position to at least have a strong team, one that can get a few wins, a la Nikki style with Ironhead flinches
Hey.
or air/flinches. But I mean, I think just that alone, I think could be good enough for a couple wins, and I think she could, with the help of Infinite, I think it's going to help her grow a little faster than most newcomers might. Especially since there's the immediacy of seeing each other a lot. So I'm kind of excited to see how she progresses from
Can I jump
from
in?
week 1 to week 10.
Can I
Yeah.
jump in?
Yeah.
I don't think you should sleep on her because in Candy Corn she played really well for her skill
She
level.
did.
She
almost
beat
me, I
Brown.
think.
She beat Brown, which is
Yeah.
really surprising. So that's really I don't think you should sleep on her. Unless you're
Oh no, and I
Infinite.
agree. I just
Wink.
Oh Jesus, Cam, what is wrong with you?
can't. This is a kid show.
Yeah,
No,
this
it's
is a
not.
kid's show.
Fuck
PG.
you. See, now it's not a kids show. But in all honesty, I think she does have the potential to at least get 3 wins. And 3
And
wins
I
is hard.
agree with that. I'm really excited to see how she grows from week 1 to week 10 to see I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be noticeable for sure by the end of the season. So I don't think I'd want to. I hope I don't face her at the end of the season
Yeah.
because I would not like that.
Also, her draft is good. Like it's not like it's like decent or okay.
Just solid, and she's got
good.
like I'm as mentioned in the draft analysis, she has a solid quintet to work around.
It's a little slow, but that's okay.
Very slow.
Yeah, and this whole meta is kind of slow. Let's be honest.
But you have the
Um,
sticky web and shuckle. You have the 2 really Garf.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyways, moving on to Yad.
Yeah, I took
here-
Corviknight, bitch.
Yes, he did. Is that important?
Yes.
No.
So, anyways, Yad has a winning percentage of 58 right now. And overall, I would call his skill kind of above average. I feel he's still kind of prone to some easy mistakes in the middle of battles, or a lack of prep by like overlooking Pokemon, which I think he did in. No, did he play? He already played already, didn't he?
Mhm. I did a video with him. Yeah.
So
He played really
so
well.
he played Matrix, which he played well. Looks like so. I didn't watch it.
I can give insight. He plays.
But
He plays like he always thinks ahead. Like every single turn, he's thinking like 2-3 turns ahead, and like what are each outcome, and he plays around that. So I
So
think
you have to do it.
but like he's good at it though. You know, like he can easily
Wow,
like
okay.
okay, shut up. He can like easily pick apart
he's not good
sets.
enough because he still doesn't have a playoff win. But
Yeah, he has 0 playoff. wins.
Well, you know, I'm trying to be nice.
yeah, we don't allow that here. But yeah, regarding his style, just quick notes I had was like he loves to grab himself a couple wall breakers. If you remember back in season 3 was when he grabbed Zera Aura and Mega Aerodactyl, and he kind of just ran house on everyone. Um, and then he likes to really fill in around that offense with bulky Pokemon like Amoonguss, Aromatisse, Hippowdon, for example this season. I just think he really does a great job identifying his offensive mons and then building around those super well that cover their weaknesses. I remember
Ish.
thinking like I had a really good shot at him. I think in season 3, and that Amoonguss just gave me. I could have sworn I prepped for it, and no matter what I did, I couldn't break through it. There was also a Hitmontop involved that
Let's talk about
ruined
him
one
on
of my
top again.
setup mons. No. Um, But so I think you kind of see that with this draft as well. Like you grab Dracovic and um, early to give himself an immediate wall breaker. You don't see the rest as well. I don't know if like how well he'll use like Corviknight or Gothitelle or Galvantula. I don't know how well he'll end up doing the whole season with them, but he has that immediate threat, and then he built around it pretty well, I'd say, to cover his weaknesses, which has kind of been his staple for the last 2 seasons. We won't talk about his first season here because that was bad.
No, let's talk about it. It shows his improvement.
Oh, all you need to know is he had a Mega Latios, and he was not good with it.
I mean, now he has a Draco bitch, so.
He does have that.
Yeah, Dracovic is going to be an interesting mod to see how this does in the meta. I'm sure it'll probably be up right around the kill leaders with how Yad plays.
Actually,
Pretty
Yad is
easily.
Yad is like, I think he's one of the more interesting in the league because he's really good. Like he is really, but I feel like in the clutch he just kind of falls apart.
Yeah,
Like,
heat of the moment. I think he
situations.
can kind of. I think he sometimes loses his cool in the match, and that's what I mean by causing him to make a dumb mistake and then screw himself over for the win. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I can remember more than a couple expletive-laden rants in the chat over the last couple seasons.
Well, you can just refer back to the fact that he has no playoff win. That's kind of like
sums it up.
But I feel like he's due for it. I think he's gonna.
Maybe this season.
That's what I was gonna say. I think this season, I think he has a really good shot at doing it.
He does have a hard division.
Don't worry,
though.
we completely just jinxed him, and he's gonna lose round 1 again, 6-0.
Dude, that was the plan. You can't just say it, though.
He already won.
He
He already won his first game pretty handsomely.
Handsomely.
Yeah.
Handsomely.
Yeah. Moving on.
Oh well.
Moving on to one of our other veterans. This is one of the other gingers in the league. He's the ginger that everyone loves and would steal your girl. Will, let me find his stats. Let's see. Will here, he has a 55% winning percentage in his 3 seasons so far. Right now, if I was going back around season 1 or like UBC, I would call his skill super high. Right now, I think I'd consider his skill a little above average. I think he's still shaking off the rust of a lot of things. I think, though, based off his draft, I don't think that's going to be an issue this season. And overall, his style, I just find him to be someone who's super consistent in his style. He doesn't really waver. He just really plays super smartly to get to that right moment for a setup sweep. If you remember in the UBC, he loved his Mega Skiz and Rotom Heat Tangrowth Core. And he would play around those latter two so much until he could get Rotom Skiz, Mega Scizor, in for like a Swords Dance setup for a sweep, or when he used his Volheat set to get his Necrozma in for an easy setup on me. So that's how I kind of see him as a player. I just think he does such a good job at staying consistent in the way he drafts, staying consistent in the way he plays, and then just knows Pokemon. He just knows it super well.
Yeah.
And I'm really seeing this season as a potential return to form for him.
Yeah, I think he's where am I? Oh, I think he's also kind of one of those bulkier battlers, but he can really like turn it on. I think in terms of going into a style that fits the sort of like whatever style would fit that opponent, if that makes sense. That's all. That's all I have to say. I have nothing else. Just kind of awkwardly stopped.
Yeah. He also has weather.
He also has weather this season. Yes.
Yeah,
Short call game.
Venusaur with Weather Ball. And
Don't
Earth
sleep on
Power,
it.
so
Don't
yay!
sleep on it.
It's full special attack Venusaur coming in. Awesome.
Okay, we'll move on to
Also
Zach, who
sniped me up
Nick
Noivern.
lost to.
Really, you're just gonna. Okay.
Yeah, Nick lost to Zach.
Yeah, remember when he didn't prep for Deblade?
Even though he had 5
No.
mons.
Yeah, it's because you didn't. Yeah, so
Anyways.
Zach is a returning player of sorts. He is more well known for his feats in the UBC, not so much here, as he's only played one season, and we won't talk about how the last season ended for him because there
Talk
might have
about
been
it.
more than a few forfeits. But yeah, skill wise, it's kind of hard for me to say because I haven't seen him much see him play much. If we were going based off a year and a half ago, when we saw the UBC going and he was in like IPA and all that, you had to say hi. But based off last season in the matches he did play, it seemed a little more meh. And kind of like what I at least noticed last season is he really, obviously every season, he loves his bulky, stally type of teams. And he's really prone to sometimes being predictable. He really relies, as I put in my notes, he's kind of the calc master. He knows more calcs probably than anyone in our server combined. But that can also kind of be his undoing because sometimes he relies a little too much on those and doesn't think possibly like, well, maybe this isn't the set that I think it is. And I was so mad at myself when I played him like last season because I felt like I could have won that, but I kept thinking like, no, he's gonna expect my semi non-standard set, so I'm gonna switch out. And then he beat me because I kept over predicting his simple plays. But other players played around that super well, which is why he kind of ended up with a poor record. But we'll see what happens this season. I think he's got a team that can fit him really well, especially as we saw in the first matchup. I think he's got some Pokemon that I think he really, really likes to use and isn't full on stall like he almost was last season. Yeah, I think he's. I mean, he was at least a one-time champ in UBC.
Yeah, he went like 5-5, and then into playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was after his win that we implemented a different playoff system because I think that was the season Sean went like 7-3 but couldn't get in.
Yeah. Sean was in my division.
Yeah, but
I went 7-3 too. Yeah, but I won. Yeah, I won head to head.
Yeah, so he kind of laid the groundwork for that. But no, I think he's really capable of winning any matchup because he was like really good in IPA.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like he was always kind of a player that was middle of the pack during the regular season, but then like I said during the playoffs he played really well. But then in IPA he was amazing. But then he also then fell off a little bit. So I don't know. And it's hard to judge his skill, especially since his week 1 battle was against me, and for whatever reason, I cannot beat Zach. Like for whatever reason, Zach.
Oh, now we're just making excuses.
No, it's true. If you go back, he beats me down all the time. I cannot.
You're bad.
Just because I'm bad.
Yeah. So that's Zach. Cam, did you want to say anything about him?
He took Mantine.
Yeah, Matrix. Matrix has Mew.
Yeah.
Matrix draft is Pharaoh Seed, and that's all you need to know. Moving on to Zyad.
So Zyad...
Go back. Calm down.
Okay, so
anyway,
Zach drafted
Matrix.
Komodo, right? So when Zach drafted Komodo, what?
Cam.
You said go back.
We're talking about Matrix.
God.
We're talking about Matrix. Stop being mean. So Matrix, I think you guys will enjoy this stat. He has a 43% winning percentage in the league. Thanks to last season.
Last season he was awful.
Bad. He tied with Jed for the worst record.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, last season notwithstanding, I would consider him a pretty above average battler. But the problem I see with him is that he relies so much on Pokemon he's used to that he's prone to just lapses and prone to just not doing well when he doesn't fall back on those, like the Tapu Fini, the Rotom Heat, the Mega Latios. When he doesn't have those mons, he kind of struggles. And I think that he can also sometimes just be prone to lapses in focus, not necessarily during the match, but during prep. Um, I think he can just sometimes find himself, like, whether it's because it's external forces or just not feeling it, he can find himself just a little iffy on how he preps for a match, which then leads him to maybe getting his butt kicked by Stall in the semifinals.
I was just about to say that.
So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a pretty solid player, and we'll see how he does this season. I hope he returns to form, but we'll see what happens.
I feel like you can make a case that Matrix is like you can make an argument that Matrix is like top 6, top 7, like honestly, but he's sort of like Yad in the sense that during playoffs he kind of falls apart because I feel like he lets his emotions get to him a lot when he's battling, and even like after battles, he's another one of those people that goes on the rants.
Mm.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about Matrix 2. I don't have much.
He's not off to a good start this season either, but we'll see if he can bounce back.
Did you lose to
He
Yad?
lost, yeah.
Yeah, he lost. And finally, our player that all of us pronounce differently. Would we all like to go say it? I
Big
say
Z.
Ziad.
Big Z.
Ziad.
So we'll let the Ziad.
I'm just. Why was that so awkward?
So we'll just like Ziad tell us what he believes, what it actually is after this video. And yeah, but regarding him, he's played 2 seasons, and right now he's at a 40% record after a brutal last previous season. I'd call him a pretty good player, though. I think he did get screwed over a lot, if I remember right. Just he missed a lot of moves, and we just won't talk about Cradilly. Granted, that was season 3, but we won't talk about it. We ridicule him enough for it. But I feel like he's been kind of just an unlucky player in terms of like how all of his battles. I feel like he preps consistently well. I feel like he knows his stuff pretty well. But I think I think as if we were mentioned with some of the others, I think he can sometimes get a little frustrated in a match, which would kind of cause him to lose his cool and compound the previous frustrations of missing a move. But regarding like his playstyle,
Yeah.
he, like I said, he makes some mistakes times, but I think the potential is there, and he tends to lean towards more offensive teams. I think, as you remember, like he did amazing with Mega Diancie. I think his first season. I can't remember if that was first season or last season. He did super well with that. Mian Chao was also on that team, so I think he really likes to give himself some good wall breakers. And you can see that again with this team with like Rillaboom and Scrafty setup, Cloyster setup. So I think he's got some mons that I think he'll really like using. And that's kind of all I have about him. He's still relatively new, so I don't know him all that well yet. And I probably don't watch enough of his replays.
I don't really know him that well either.
Okay, I got something to say then. When I was interviewing with Big Z, he feels really confident and he feels like he's gonna go somewhere this season. So I think he's playing with
not.
Okay, but
you hear that, Ziad? You're not going anywhere.
Big Z, I'm sorry.
Big Z.
But
keep going, Ken. Keep going.
But I feel like he's very confident. He's a very confident battler, and he knows how good he is. So I feel like he's gonna do really
Record
well this
doesn't say
season.
that.
But okay,
Puck.
Puck, you suck.
He's crying.
I just have to. I'm sorry. I'm a shit talker. I can't let people get their egos stroked too much. You know.
Yeah.
Drafted
me
fucking
neither.
Drampa and Lantern. Shut the fuck up, Pod.
Wait, where's he did draft Lantern.
Yeah.
Mm.
I needed
Mm.
I needed water
Mm.
absorb, okay? Because I wasn't sure if I played Yod.
What was I gonna say about Ziad? During his interview, I watched a bit of that, and it seems like even though he hasn't been here that long, it seems like he really does know.
He does know
Like,
a
what-
lot. He is big
Yeah,
brain.
he knows what he's doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has one of the better records.
And you know the most important thing here, he learned from his mistakes and he gave himself far fewer opportunities to miss moves,
He also drafted Orbeetle.
He loves Orbeetle.
which is actually the greatest mod in existence.
That is true.
Yeah, it turned into a UFO.
Orbeetle. Yeah, it's gonna steal me.
Steal you away.
Please hope.
Take away.
Are you gonna elope?
Well, we should end the video.
Okay, all right. I
Why?
want to do little fun things before I want to do some stuff.
Um,
Pac, who do you think is gonna be the champion?
I think is gonna be the champion. Oof. Well, I mean, I want to say me, but I don't think that's fair.
Other than
You
you,
know, I'm
who do you
gonna
think you
go
would face
with-
then?
I'm gonna go with Robbo. I'm going to go with Robbo.
You think Rabo's gonna do it?
Hey, what was your second question?
Well, I'm gonna
I
ask
think
Nick.
Robbo's going to pull it off again.
Nick, who do you think is gonna win?
If I could pick myself, I would choose myself.
Not yourself.
But I'm not going to. I'm gonna go with Yad. I think
You're
this
gonna go
is
with Yad. This is Yad season.
season that
Oh.
Yad finally does it.
Zero to hero.
0 to heroes.
One fell swoop.
0 playoff wins to hero playoff wins. I don't know. This doesn't make much sense.
Zero playoffs, so I win a playoff in championship. Woohoo! Another
Cam, what about
question.
you?
Who
Wait, Cam,
do
what
you,
about you? What about you?
me? Who do I think is
Who
gonna
do you
win?
think's
Yeah,
going
who
to
do you
win?
think is gonna win?
I honestly think
Like-
that, like in all
honestly.
honesty,
Yeah,
I think Infinite can do it again.
I think if it can too.
Actually, wait. Can I switch mine?
What?
To who?
I'm gonna go with Will. I'm sorry. I want to switch it to Will. I really
Okay.
like his
I
team.
don't-
I think it's
I don't like Melmetal.
amazing.
But
Well,
he has a lot
Melmetal
of good
doesn't
mods.
like unit.
Melmetal needs a lot of help, but he like if you draft Melmetal,
Did it?
he literally drafted the team for Melmetal. Like you couldn't
I
get
think
more
the scariest
perfect.
thing. Yeah, I think the scariest thing is Torkoal and Venusaur. That's gonna be scary.
Okay, ignore Melmetal, I guess, but whatever.
I know, but just the threat of sun is.
Dude, I'm really scared about Lapras. Lapras is scary.
Whatever. What was your second question?
The second question is, who do you think is gonna be the most improved coach?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, improved wise, I mean, it's kind of hard, but I mean, if we're basing off like record, I would probably have to go with, I mean, I'd have to say probably Ziad, just based off record. In terms of actual skill, I mean, I think it'd probably make an argument for Alexis. Probably, I think you'll see the greatest change over the season.
Mhm.
wait, Cam. Do you
But
mean like
just-
from last season, or like
Like in
from
general,
beginning of the season?
like who do you think
Okay.
is gonna be
If you're
like gonna be better?
I think Alexis. I'm gonna go with Pac. I think Alexis from like beginning of season to end of season is gonna be wildly. But I think if we're going from last season to this season, it's kind of an unfair thing because of what happened last season. But I think Matrix, just because he really just stops caring last season. So I think if he just puts a little effort, he'll definitely be much better off. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And
Any other questions?
do I have one more for you too? Who do you think is
Okay.
gonna end up winning Coach of the Year?
That usually ends up going to either a super surprising contender for playoffs or best record. So
Mhm.
Yeah. So who
I
do you
mean,
think?
I'm probably just gonna throw Will in there again. I'm gonna say Will again.
Will. What about you?
I'm gonna say Alexis because I'm gonna say Alexis.
Do you think Alexis is gonna make playoffs?
I'm gonna say Alexis is gonna make the.
I'm putting $5 on it right now.
I'm stamping it. Putting $5 on it. Alexis is making the playoffs. Cam, you know how to edit it. Edit it.
Nick, I know how to.
Alexis
I know
is
how to.
making-
I know how to make a dinosaur. Okay, that's
Make a dinosaur and have it say Alexis is making the playoff.
okay.
Wait,
I actually have a question for you guys.
Yeah, what is it?
Wait, Cam, who do you think's gonna be coach of the year? We forgot
I
to-
don't know
we forgot to
Oh
anyone.
yeah.
answer.
Well, just say it.
Um. Hmm. I think. Let me think about it real quick. Um. I'm gonna say Matrix, because I agree with Nick where like he has a what?
I just say it. It's Matrix.
I think he has a lot to.
Yeah.
I think he needs to prove some stuff, and I think
Yeah.
his
He
cocky.
drafted Pharisee. One coach of the year drafts Pharisee.
Okay, who drafts this
And?
fucking lantern?
Yeah. You have a Santa.
Man,
You have a Sandaconda.
Sandicon is good.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay.
Okay, Pog, what's your
All
question?
right, what was your question? What was your question, Pop?
Yeah. So my question was, who do you think's gonna be kill leader this season?
Oh,
Oh, kill leader? Telion.
be real. I think it's going to be.
Alright, I know. I already know. Alright, it's gonna be
I think
Dragapult.
it's-
It's Dragapult.
I-
There's
I
no
think
way
it's
that
gonna be.
Dragapult is gonna literally kill at least 2 mons each game.
I think it's going to be Hydreigon because if you look at a lot of the, there's not much that switches to Hydreigon. Like look at Infinite Steam real quick.
Yeah,
Dragon just slurps on it.
okay, but look at Dragapult.
Get it? Cause Slurpuff.
because Slurpuff's the only thing.
Yeah.
Like, it really does.
It's so
it
bad.
slurps on it.
It slurps everything but Slurpuff.
It gets Flash Canned. It can do that. It can Dragon Dance. I think it's Iron Head or Iron Tail or something.
It's nasty,
Yeah, so I think
Uh,
Hydreigon.
Yeah.
but I think
You know,
my
and
question
for
is-
mine,
Oh yeah.
I think my guess. You know, I'm gonna go dark horse here. I'm gonna say Rillaboom is gonna be right.
I
up
was
there.
thinking-
Huh? I don't think.
Rillaboom hits hard.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna have enough chances to really sweep teams. You know,
I mean, we'll see what happens. It's my dark horse. My dark horse pick.
it could have been a lot worse. I could say that.
You could have said Appleton.
Could have said Appleton. I think Yad is rolling over in his seat
Because
right
it's
now.
Frostmoth.
You know
Yeah, and
Yad
then
right
just
now.
pick Dracovish.
Yad is right now saying, "What the fuck
Yeah,
is
Yad's-
Dracovish?"
Well, everyone prepared for it. I feel like there's not one team that doesn't have
Yeah.
Dracovish because they know how big of a threat.
I mean, I don't, but I don't face him, so.
The team, I'm pretty sure straight counter is built to completely counter Dracovish from every possible angle.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't even think I play him, but it's
I
fine.
drafted Seismitoad just because I realized was.
Mhm.
Anyways, I have a question.
Oh my god.
Who
What's
do you
your
guys
question?
think is going to get the most important award?
What?
The Gary Oak Award.
The Gary Oak Award, Zach.
So, really? I think Zach's going to?
Cam, do you know?
I mean,
who's
I'm just saying,
won
you're
it
talking-
every season.
No, you tied last season.
What?
You tied last season with it. With Rabo.
Wait, was it Rabo? Oh no.
Yeah, you tied last
Yeah,
season with
you and
Rabo.
Rabo tied.
Me and Rabo tied. Whew. I've won it basically every season.
Yeah, but I don't think your team's built for it.
Do you know what the Gary Oak Award is?
Yeah, it's like being like slow and stuff, right?
No.
What is it?
No, it means it's being an asshole who you see as a rival, who you most want to beat.
Yeah, it's always
Oh.
me.
I still
'Cause
can't
I'm
say
always a-
Zach. I can still say Zach.
Zach's not really a jerk. He just builds animation.
Oh my god, you mean
It's
on a
definitely when he starts
personal
talking
level?
about why mods are bad.
Yeah.
Nick, I still
You
can't
know,
say you.
just because I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure Nick's gonna win it again. But just to throw, I'm gonna throw. You know, I'm gonna throw Cam in there.
I knew
You
you
know,
were gonna say that. I
Cam's
knew
gonna
you were
make-
gonna say
Cam's gonna make
that.
some enemies.
I knew you were gonna
Cam's
say
gonna make
that.
some enemies.
How am I
I
gonna
feel
make
like,
enemies?
I
You're just
feel
gonna
like
talk nothing shit.
if
I
Faces,
haven't talked
if
anything
Faces
yet. I've
wins
been
the
nothing
game-
but kind to Jetty. I haven't talked one bit of trash.
Oh
to
yeah.
Jet.
Oh, you haven't talked. Well, you just interrupted me. So I think maybe.
So I
win
think Nick is
the
gonna
Gary Oak
attribute
Award.
the Gary Oak Award real quick.
I think if Matrix wins, like, does well, I think he'll win it because he'll just be such an ass. Because that's kind of how he does it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So the summary here is we all think Matrix an asshole.
I hate Matrix.
Matrix, why did you have Pharisee? Don't do it to him. Don't do it.
Stop changing his color.
Matrix sucks penis. Okay, I think this is a good time to end it. Everyone, we had a lot of fun tonight. Any final say? No? No? Okay. Alright. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye,
Do I get a final
everybody.
say?
Oh,
What the heck?
Bye-bye.
Wait, Pocket, say something.
Fuck, what?
Yeah, Kate, you didn't give me a final say.
I said anyone have a
You
final
gave Nick
say.
a final word? Oh, I thought you only said Nick.
No,
Oh,
bitch.
my fault. I just want to say,
Just end the video right now.
fuck y'all.
Hey,
That was your final.
hey, Pac.
Yeah.
Hey, Pac. You don't have that, you have a pretty big ground
Yeah.
weakness. Fuck you.
Really?